This day began as an average fishing trip in a way above average place.
Take him around the boat. Go around.
But as the day wore on, and as I began to synchronize with the river, it became obvious that this was much more than a simply above average place. Before the day was over, we'd traveled to the end of the rainbow.
Flipper, leave my bass alone, man.
Boy, that's a nice fish. I'm trying to keep you away from those weeds there.
It's all right, we got him.
Flip, sit, flip. Watch that dog doesn't jump in the water. He's been known to do that.
My bass, that's my bass, Flipper. That's my bass, that's my bass. Go.
From the very first splash as the boat was launched, I was captivated by this river. Although Glen had spent countless hours filming along, over, and below its banks, it was obvious to me that the rainbow was still new and fresh to him. From first light till sundown, Glen shared the secrets of the rainbow.
This is what I'd call the flats, like in the Florida Keys. Fish come out here on this shallow water in this flats at night, but it's the only time that you'll see them here. You won't ever see them here during the day.
Well, I don't know. What do you think about something like this? Dark, you say?
Dark.
Something like that?
Ooh, that's nice. Will that stay weedless?
Yes, that's very weedless.
You can catch a bass on that one.
It's called a Prince of Tides.
Prince of what?
Prince of Tides.
We don't have tides here. You can't use it.
All right, well, we go to something else then. This was a bad idea.
But try the Prince of Tide anyway.
All right. It is very weedless.
These were not like any flats I'd ever fished, and I didn't plan to stick around until dark when the bass were supposed to invade. So I just did what I always do when a fishing situation presents itself, and I find myself on the front of the boat. I picked up my fly rod and began to probe likely spots, letting the line extend and come level on the back cast, feeling the loaded rod reverse the direction of the line, while the accumulated experience of thousands of casts directed the fly to an opening in the brush pile along the bank.
I mean, you got to hit right on the edge. Very few people can do that. Oh, man. Good shot.
See the difference about how I can get back underneath?
Yeah.
Like if I wanted to go under that limb there.
Oh, nice cast. Pull it back again and make a cast right up by that thick stuff. Yeah, good cast, good.
Come on, man. Like a ton of bricks I'm on. Oh, Glen.
Big one?
Yeah, you can see him perfectly. Whoops, he's going to get me on the reel here in a minute. Let me go over you here. This is unbelievable. He was right where you said he was going to be. He was under that mat.
Yeah, good fish.
Slob.
Good fish, good fish. Watch him. That's a Rainbow River fish there, boy. Nice one. You got him?
I got him. Wow. He's really hooked too.
Congratulations.
Boy, Glenn, that was fabulous. But I mean, right where you told me to cast. I mean, he was right there. Just let him go.
Yeah. This next dock up here that we're coming to, I dove here, and I can tell you when you get down there, the light drops off about, well, with the camera, about 8 stops. And this dock right here right now has, I bet you, 15, 20, or 30 bass that are 5 to 8 pounds. And
I see what you mean. I mean, it is
well,
obviously.
See down that dark stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, what makes that dock different from the other ones is that they have pilings that crisscross down there. And it makes like a little cage, and those bass feel real secure in there. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to feed in there. It doesn't mean that it's a good place to fish. What it means is a holding place where they feel real comfortable during the day, especially. And in clear water at night, these bass come out and feed real heavy. This is maiden cane up there. And I would say that maiden cane, wherever you find it, holds more bass than any other area. I'm talking about bass, not forage fish, although there's a lot of forage fish in there. But wherever you see this maiden cane, you'll find a lot of bass, and mainly your big bass will live up there.
Why is that?
You have to go in there and dive and swim down and look and see what's happening there to really appreciate it. But I have actually swum up on bigger bass in maiden cane and more of them than any other place. Look at the turtles on here, on that log. But you can go along and it'll be, I mean, you'll see things, limbs that are overhanging that look just like the other ones. But there won't be a thing under there. It's just that they pick these rooms to spend their time there during the day, and they feel safe there. It's probably because there are less predators in that area, or whatever it might be, but you very seldom ever see a big fish in these overhangs until late in the evening. Here's a real good spot. This has big bass and little bass, but you can see there's a different type of terrain here. I mean, it's just a lot of overhanging trees and limbs and big limbs. Where they're big limbs or logs underneath there, if the bass can hang back in the shadow of the log, that's a good ambush. This here is my favorite place, by the way. This here. See how that limb comes out and it's gathered all that debris there? I don't know if you can see, but I can see fish underneath there. Most of the time you can't. They're back in the shadows. But if you were going to fish that, now a lot of fishermen say, okay, so what? There's the fish, so what? What does that mean to me? Tell me something. Well, you have to use light line for one thing, 4-pound test line. You have to use small lures, something like a Gibson, or something like a small worm, something that's going to get down there. And the idea is there's a current here, so you fish like you do trout. And you want to cast that out, and so it far enough so it flows underneath there, flows back underneath it. And they're not always going to hit it. There's times when you get down there and you look and they're moving around underneath there and they're chasing things and their minnows going everywhere. There's times where they're just suspended. I mean, just locked in there. Nothing will happen during that period. But if you watch the salooner tail, quite often those fish will start feeding during that period. I've seen it. I've laid there for hours. And then the salooner period starts, all at once they start moving around.
One of the things that really impressed me about the Big Mouth Forever tape was the very first opening sequence of the whole tape. That split level scene where the angler was casting around at the different targets that you couldn't see from above water, but that you could see from below water. I've often wanted to ask you, but hesitated, how you ever did a shot like that. You don't have to tell me. Why don't you tell me?
I can't tell you.
And he never did tell me. But the scene we spoke of involved a split-level view of a pond or slough and an angler on the front of a boat casting against the shoreline. In the foreground is an underwater stump, the top of which is visible from above water. Bass patrolled the base of the stump, unseen by the angler. He tries a spinnerbait around the stump with no luck and changes to a worm. He hooks up immediately and eventually catches the fish. I think I've finally figured out how Glen got this shot, but I can't tell you. Glen got me into the clear, very cold water and explained what we would see as we swam up into the current. Nothing he said could have prepared me for the wonders of the rainbow's underself.
As we left Flipper behind to guard the boat, I realized immediately that Flip was going to be hard to keep up with. I could tell he was affected by the beauty of the rainbow the same way I was nearly 30 years ago. There's an overwhelming urge to want to touch and feel everything at the same time, because it must be a dream. So hurry. Unlike most dreams, this one goes on and on. The fish make the experience for Flip even more exciting. But the thing that causes Flip to pause the longest is the unusual formations of water coming up out of the earth.
It might have been the geysers at Yellowstone, or wind-blown sand rushing up from the center of the earth. Or it might have been a lush Amazon forest, but it was the rainbow. Wherever it was Glen's world. Just add water. Don't stir.
Over the past 30 years, I have spent over 14,000 hours underwater, most of that time filming and studying the habits of the largemouth bass. For me, this has been a labor of love and a chance to share with others the knowledge my cameras have accumulated. During the filming of my latest documentary called Big Mouth Forever, we located a large school of giant bass, and for the first time had a chance to film and study their habits.
Today I had seen a part of the Rainbow River that few anglers ever see, and I'd seen it through Glen's eyes.
Boy, there may be someplace prettier than that on this planet. I don't know where it would be.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, that one area where there was kind of like that bowl,
Yeah.
I don't know if you could see me in there, but there was a little, tiny little spring bubbling up out of the sand with some stones around it, and I started digging in those stones, and the mud was being blown up by the spring, and all at once, 1,000, 1,000,000, I don't know how many big bluegills came, and they were feeding on something that I was disturbing there. I couldn't even see
They're
what
little
it was.
bitty red worms.
Oh.
Yeah.
And they were actually grabbing my fingers. It
I
was
got a shot
funny-
of some of that. I did.
Oh, man. And then, when I came through that little area with the tall grass, and there was almost like a bowl, like a depression, and when I came out over the edge of that, and there were all those fish, it was almost like being suspended in midair.
I saw you stop, and you sort of stiffened up, and I brought the camera up and got right over the side of you there. You didn't even know I was there, and you just
No,
sort
I
of,
didn't see you.
You froze. You just froze. Like
You know what it felt like? Like you were coming to the edge of a building, and there was just air out there, and then all of a sudden you were out there. Quite a sensation, and unbelievable beauty, and the shafts of light coming down through the water and through the matted foliage on the surface.
Yeah.
Whew, I've never seen clarity and visibility like that ever.
You know, it's interesting to take people with film underwater where they can see it. But if they see it firsthand, it never leaves them. I mean, it stays in their mind.
No, because there's an equilibrium thing happening there too. I mean, there's all the visuals, and the crazy thing is that, you know, I've done some diving a little bit in seawater, and there's a lot of noise in the ocean, snapping shrimp and all kinds of things making. This is like a tune. You go under, and it's like somebody put solid concrete plugs in your ear. It's just dead still and beautiful all around, and then there's that equilibrium feeling, that strange feeling because of the clarity. It's almost like what you think of those chambers where they put people to relax and they float them in a dark room, and it was pretty amazing.
Well, you just described why I love it so much. I mean, we've come over here hundreds and hundreds of days, and I just love it.
I can sure see why.
Yeah.
Appreciate you sharing it with me.
Well, this is just the beginning. Wait till I take you to the Devil's Trap.
Sounds scary.
Well, this is adventure, you know, high adventure.
I'm ready for adventure.
Yeah, that's good.
This is a pretty special relationship. Each listens to, responds to, and anticipates the other. Fish are a big part of both of their lives. Flipper, normally well behaved, is totally on his own when a fish is hooked in his presence, and believes that it's his responsibility, no, his solemn duty, to retrieve fish.
Now splash a little.
Not Glen, he's big. He is big. Well, yes.
Watch it, watch it. Don't get him too close to the end of your rod. Oh, man.
Oh, no! Flip!
Don't let the dog get him. God, he's not supposed to do that. I've trained that dog not to do that.
So much for training.
Watch it now. I'm telling you, watch, he'll grab your fish. You better.
I often wonder what Flipper's plan for the fish is once he catches it.
Here he comes.
Watch it. Watch it.
Yeah, meanwhile, look at this fish. I'm not letting him have this.
Congratulations.
And no, you can't have him.
Hold him up here. Let me look at him. Isn't that pretty?
Let me release him up
Watch
here.
it. Watch it. Dog will get him. Go to the other side of the boat. Bring him around here. Put him in right here. He'll grab that fish.
Flip
yeah.
out.
Bring him in the boat. Bring.
I'll let you do that.
Okay.
I'll hold the boat.
Come here, buddy. Here. Come here. Come on. Come here. Come here. 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 Come here. Come here. Oh, wait. Don't shake. Don't shake. Don't shake. You're my old fish dog, aren't you? Huh? Where'd you get? Ah! Did you get that fish? Huh? Did you get that fish? Huh?
Quest for Adventure has been brought to you by Ford F-Series. The best-selling trucks are built Ford tough. Bass Pro Shops Catalog. Columbia Sportswear Company. Tracker Marine. Fish the finest. Panasonic, just slightly ahead of our time. Realtree, America's most versatile camo pattern. Pennzoil, specially formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil. For additional information, contact our website at www.questforadventure.com.